Hey everyone, it's Josh Love here. Jake wanted to share his true backstory about the birth of MrJakesMusic. Here it is. It's going to be a long one, and everything that happened, it was real, and took place inside his dream. Took place last year, end of July 2024, the night I met Michael Jackson. Part 1, The Call, The Hallway, and the Studio of Souls. The night was quiet, the kind that hums softly when the world has gone to sleep, but something greater is still awake. The air felt heavy, full of thought. My mind kept looping through rhythm and silence, the heartbeat of creation itself. There was no music playing in my room, yet I could hear something. A rhythm underneath the stillness, like the pulse of the universe whispering, "Are you listening?" That's when I spoke into the darkness. God, if music is really what I'm meant to do, then please, show me something. The moment I said it, the silence deepened. And somewhere between waking and dreaming, I fell into light. The Hall of Sound. When my eyes opened, I wasn't in my room anymore. I was standing in a vast hallway, stretching beyond sight, walls glowing in soft amber light, air alive with faint vibration. The ground beneath me wasn't solid wood or tile. It shimmered like black glass that rippled when I breathed. Each wall was lined with album covers, hundreds, no, thousands of them, floating slightly off the surface, glowing with their own inner light. Thriller, Purple Rain, The Bodyguard. Songs in the key of life. Every cover whispered the music it carried, quiet, sacred, eternal. It wasn't a museum. It was a cathedral. Every echo in that hall was a prayer someone once sang. As I walked, I noticed every step created a faint note. Together my footsteps made a beat, steady, like a metronome guiding me forward. At the end of the hall was a single door, black with a gold handle, framed by light so soft it almost breathed. Above it, carved in glowing script, were the words, "Studio of Souls." I felt no fear, only knowing. So I reached for the door and opened it. The studio inside was infinity disguised as a recording studio. The floor gleamed dark and smooth, walls padded with deep red velvet. Instruments filled the room like a living orchestra, grand pianos with open lids, guitars resting on stands, old-school microphones waiting like they remembered every voice they'd ever held. The air smelled faintly of cedar and ozone. Light spilled from nowhere and everywhere at once, warm, golden, alive. And then, footsteps, soft, rhythmic, confident. I turned around. He stood there, in that calm, timeless glow. Michael Jackson, the presence. He wasn't the distant icon from a poster or the fragile figure from documentaries. He was radiant, whole. Energy surrounded him like sound made visible. Calm, pure, magnetic. He wore black trousers, a white shirt open at the collar, loafers that gleamed just enough to catch the light. His hair was slightly curled, eyes gentle and awake. He smiled, not as a celebrity, not as a ghost, but as a friend who'd been waiting. "Hi, Jake," he said softly. He knew my name. The first words, "You asked for something," he said. My voice barely worked. "For what?" "For a sign," he replied. "For music. For purpose." The air between us vibrated, full of sound I couldn't hear, but could feel. "You've been wondering if it's all worth it," he said. "If your heart, your sound, your story really matter. You've been searching for proof." He stepped closer, his presence calm but electric. "Music is energy, Jake. It doesn't die. It transforms. Every time you feel rhythm in silence, every time you hear a melody that no one else can, that's not imagination. That's the universe humming through you." He looked around the room, gesturing to the instruments. "All of this," he said, "is already inside you." The notebooks behind me. I heard the soft thud of paper shifting. I turned to see a long oak table that hadn't been there before, covered in notebooks, dozens of them, worn and colored with age. Some were open, filled with handwriting, my handwriting. Lyrics, verses, fragments of songs I'd written. Others held words I'd never seen before, ideas I hadn't yet lived. Michael walked to the table and rested his hand on one of the pages. "The music's already written," he said. "You just have to bring it down." I touched one of the notebooks, and it felt alive, like it had a pulse. Why me? The question slipped out of me. Why me? There are millions of artists. Why would the universe choose me? He smiled, not mockingly, but like someone who's heard that question 1,000 times. Because you don't chase fame, you chase feeling. And the world needs more of that. You've known pain, and yet you still choose to love. That's why your music will heal. He walked to a piano and pressed one key. The note rang through the room like liquid light. "That's what you are," he said. "One note in the song of the universe. But that one note matters, the lesson of love and women." He turned back toward me, eyes soft but full of knowing. "Listen," he said. "There's something else you need to understand about life, about love." He gestured to the space around us, where faint lights began to drift. Shapes of people, faces I couldn't fully see. "There will be many women who walk through your life," he said. "Don't be afraid of that. Don't mistake endings for punishment. Each one comes with a message, a mirror, a piece of wisdom. These women are your personal teachers. They'll teach you patience, forgiveness, humility, trust, lessons no book could give you. Each love, each heartbreak, is part of your spiritual training." I watched as the drifting lights shimmered brighter, forming outlines of people laughing, crying, hugging, moments that felt both familiar and new. He continued, "And remember this, Jake, you're their teacher too. Every woman who crosses your path will leave with something they learned from you. Maybe kindness, maybe courage, maybe the reminder that love can be safe again." He looked down, smiling softly. "Love isn't possession," he said. "It's a classroom. The more you love, the more you grow. Your love music." He sat at the piano again and began to play. A soft, simple melody that felt ancient, like the sound of creation itself. "I've heard your love music," he said. "I've felt it. It reaches hearts because it's honest. You don't write to impress, you write to connect." The melody he played felt like my own songs, but purified, elevated. He added, "When you sing from truth, even pain becomes harmony." The air shimmered as the music filled the room, and for a moment I realized the sound wasn't coming from the piano anymore. It was coming through us. The melody drifted into silence, yet the air still trembled. Michael looked at me the way light looks at water, curious, patient, infinite. "You see," he said, "when love and music move through you, you become a bridge between heaven and earth. That's what every true artist is, a translator of spirit." He walked toward the far wall. The velvet texture rippled like liquid. With one smooth motion of his hand, it turned into a mirror. The mirror of becoming it didn't show my reflection. It showed possibility. I saw a figure standing on a small stage lit in gold. The figure held a microphone, not like a weapon, but like a candle. Behind him shimmered the words, MrJakesMusic. The crowd in front wasn't cheering wildly. They were listening. Every face glowed with recognition, like the music reminded them who they were. Michael spoke quietly beside me. "That's you when you finally stop doubting. Not famous, fulfilled. Every song you share will be a small act of healing, every rhythm, a prayer." I reached out, my fingers passed through light. The image rippled, then settled into stillness. The sacred conversation. Michael turned back to me. "The world teaches noise," he said, "but creation teaches silence. From silence comes rhythm. From rhythm, revelation." He sat cross-legged on the floor, motioning for me to join. Between us appeared a faint spiral of white light, pulsing to our breathing. "This is the rhythm of life," he said. "Every inhale and exhale, every rise and fall, It's all music. When you create, you're not making something new. You're remembering the pattern. He looked directly into me. And when people walk in and out of your life, that's rhythm too. Don't cling to the notes. Listen to the song. The dance of freedom. He rose and snapped his fingers. The spiral burst into a soft beat, slow, heartbeat tempo. Then he moved. A simple step, then another, his feet whispering against the floor like wind against silk. He wasn't performing. He was praying through motion. "Come," he said. I hesitated. "I don't dance like you." He smiled that familiar, gentle smile. "You're not supposed to." The point isn't to copy. It's to remember how your own soul moves. So I stepped forward. The floor warmed beneath me. The rhythm deepened. My body began to move, not with skill, but with sincerity. For a moment I felt weightless, every insecurity burned away by joy. We spun slowly in widening circles until the whole studio seemed to breathe with us. Instruments lifted their own notes, piano keys glowing, drums humming, guitars strumming without hands. Music filled everything. "See?" he laughed. "That's freedom, when you stop asking permission to be yourself." The gift of belief. When the last vibration faded, he stood still, hands folded. "Before you leave," he said softly, "there's one thing I must give you." He placed his palm over my heart. A gentle warmth spread outward, pulsing in time with that universal beat. This is belief. You'll forget sometimes. Everyone does. But whenever you doubt, close your eyes and listen. The rhythm will remind you who you are. His eyes shone with both tenderness and mischief. Don't chase perfection, Jake. Chase presence. That's where God hides. The studio brightened, the walls fading into radiant mist. The awakening. "Will I see you again?" I asked. He smiled. "In music. That's where we all live." Light swelled until everything became one note, pure, endless. When I opened my eyes, morning sunlight spilled through my real window. The room was quiet except for the faint echo still ringing inside my chest. I looked at my phone, opened a blank note and wrote, MrJakesMusic music for the real ones. And I whispered, "Thank you." Epilogue. The path of sound. That dream never faded. It visits me whenever I create, whenever I meet new people who teach me how to love better, whenever doubt knocks on the door. Michael's words return like a chorus. Every heartbeat is a drum. Every loss is a lesson. Every meeting is music. So I walk this path of sound, learning from every woman, every friend, every silence. Each encounter a verse, each goodbye a rest note, each beginning another song. And through it all, one truth remains. The rhythm never ends. The music lives on. Mr. Jake's Music was never a name. It was a calling.